8 years ago to the very day, and it still hurts Bayern Munich fans deep. Losing at home the Champions League final against Chelsea. Bayern dominating the game, Thomas Müller scoring, but then it was all about Didier Drogba, of course, getting that late equaliser to force it into extra time. Drogba then concedes a penalty. Arjen Robben sees it saved by Petr Cech. We go to penalty shootout, and it's Didier Drogba who scores the winning goal to give Chelsea their first Champions League title. Let's go down memory lane then with Frank Leboeuf and Ali Moreno, shall we? Frank, where did you watch this game?
I was in Los Angeles and I was at the ESPN studio watching the game, and I was alone. It was a lonely win, but what a win. I mean, I was so tense. I've never been tense in front of a TV screen all my life long. I mean, I never thought that Chelsea will make it. As you said, it wasn't maybe the best Chelsea ever, but it's the Chelsea who believed that they could do it, and they never gave up. And Didier Drogba, man of the match, and I was on my knees when he scored the penalty and he won. And you know, I always remember that Lineker say, you know, always the German win at the end. Well, it doesn't work with some English clubs, Manchester United in '99 and Chelsea in 2012. I mean, that was a hell of a win, and for the fans and for the club, it's been absolutely fantastic.
This is all about Didier Drogba, wasn't it, Ali?
Yes, it was. And if you're very honest and very, very clear as to what this Chelsea team was, it was very much about Didier Drogba. Because if you compare this to some of the other Chelsea teams that had made deep runs in the Champions League, this would have been the unlikeliest of those Chelsea teams that would win it. But Didier Drogba was, particularly in that final, but really in the run all the way up to the Champions League final, he was carrying this team, and his hold-up play and the strength, and he just kind of throwing defenders to the side and turning on people and creating chances for himself and for others. But just as big a hero as Didier Drogba was, as you just mentioned, Dan, it is Didier Drogba that takes down Franck Ribéry for a penalty kick that you would think, okay, well, this is it. It was a great story. Drogba had a great tournament. He's been great in this final. But it's Drogba who's going to be the villain because he just took down Ribéry for a penalty. Arjen Robben misses the penalty, Petr Cech misses the save, and then just kind of things change from there, and eventually in penalty kicks, Chelsea wins. It was an unlikely win for Chelsea. It really wasn't the best Chelsea team to ever make a deep run into this tournament. Roberto Di Matteo players just kind of, in some ways, rallied around him and said, okay, we're going to play for this guy. I want to pour our hearts and souls into this. We're going to compete. We're going to believe in what we're doing. And in the end, you saw the final result. What a win this was for Chelsea. And what a disappointment this was for Bayern Munich.
Ali makes a good point there, doesn't he, Frank? And you mentioned it before. This was far from the best Chelsea team, but they seem to rally around Di Matteo and obviously lift the trophy at the end.
Yeah, that's the good thing about that era and that story. It's that Roberto Di Matteo comes up during the season, and they achieve a fantastic end of the season, and he's going to stay, well, like less than a year at the club. But what a memory. And I think about Eddie Newton as well. He's his assistant coach, and we all played together when we won the first trophy in '97 in the FA Cup final with Roberto and Eddie. And it's why we are, and I was very involved in that, because we felt that we changed Chelsea a little bit. Then Chelsea became very, very famous around 2003 when they won the championship, but we needed a Champions League win, and they did it with not a big talent, maybe one big talent, as Ali mentioned, with Drogba, but with the team spirit, and they very much fought all together, and they did it in a very strange environment, because they play away from them. For a Champions League final is pretty rare.
Yeah, this is it. Well, Ali, wasn't it? Everything was just set up for Bayern, and they look back at that game, they must think, how on earth did we not win it?
Well, and think about that game in particular. You go ahead 1-0. You are in your own stadium. You're feeling good about yourself, and then there's a late equalizer by Didier Drogba. Even in the penalties, after Arjen Robben has missed and Petr Cech has made the save, and now you go to the penalty kick shootout, Juan Mata misses the first penalty for Chelsea. So you're thinking, okay, all right, well, Bayern is going to win it anyways. They're going to find a way. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't the perfect ending you were looking for. and then somehow it turns around again. So on multiple occasions, the momentum within that final changed, and it all seemed to change in favor of Chelsea. Now, just as a side note, did I just hear Frank make this win of Chelsea in the 2012 Champions League final about him, and that the root of this win was with him back in '97? Is this what I just heard from Frank Leboeuf?
Well, you want to hear what you want to hear. I just said that I was relating Eddie Newton and Roberto Di Matteo in our wins. Is why I was involved, because they were my teammates, and because we know that Chelsea before us didn't win anything for like 26 years. And in '97 when we won, we started to win again. I'm talking about Chelsea. And the Graal was touched by the 2012 team with my teammates, former teammates, Roberto Di Matteo and Eddie Newton. End of the story.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. ESPN FC back on your screens tomorrow. Ian Darke will be with us. It'll be interesting to hear from Ian what it's like commentating a game from home.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.